Each year we come up with an acronym looking ahead to the following year and some of the themes which investors perhaps should be looking out for. For 2025, we're asking the question, is the future digital? And in terms of the letters of digital, the D stands for dollar. Any increasing dollar strength, which a lot of foreign exchange specialists are speculating will continue to happen, could actually have a positive impact on the FTSE 100. Obviously, a lot of FTSE 100 constituents get their earnings from overseas and the US in particular. So a weaker sterling could translate to better share price performances. I is for inflation. There are some concerns in the US that the president-elect could introduce some measures which results in a rekindling of inflation just at a time when the central bank apparently has it under control. And similarly, in the UK, we've had a situation in terms of the national insurance rises announced in the budget, for example, where companies could decide to pass on those extra costs to the end customer, which would also be inflationary. G is for growth. President Trump, very much US-centric. He's going to be concentrating on the domestic economy, and of course that's on top of an economy which has been fairly robust and certainly avoiding recession, which many have been fearing this year. In terms of the UK, the likelihood of growth is slightly less obvious to find, although in the smaller caps we could have something of a run should the much vaunted and awaited re-rating actually come to pass. Interest rates. We've mentioned inflation already. The problem with inflation, of course, is that if it stays at these current levels or indeed goes up in terms of in the US, for example, or the UK, the central banks could decide to lessen the rate at which they cut those interest rates. And of course, that's something we'll need to keep an eye on as the year progresses. T, well, take your pick. Trump, tariffs or trade wars. That's one of the concerns for investors outside of the US, just what sort of impact any such tariffs could have. He's already said, for example, tariffs of up to 60% could be possible in China, although by the same token, he's known as a negotiator. That could be an opening gambit. AI. Is AI due for a reckoning, or has it got further to go? Whatever happens, it's going to be a major theme for next year. What's happened during 2024? For example, the market darling Nvidia, up by almost 200% just this year, continues to confound doubters with higher earnings, higher profits. But whether that can continue in 2025 remains to be seen, but it will be cool to what happens to the wider market. And finally, large caps versus small caps. In the terms of the UK, that's likely to come from any revaluation and indeed increased merger and acquisition activity, which could be coming the UK's way. We saw a lot of that in 2024. In terms of the US, should Trump very much consider that he wants to concentrate on the domestic economy and introduce all of those measures, we could get a situation whereby a rising tide lifts all boats, and that would extend then to the mid caps and the small caps as well.